everyone. Today we're going to show you how to make a custom seat cover for a motorcycle. I want to preface this video just by saying I am not good at this. This is something I've tried once or twice in the past. It turned out okay. This seat cover is by far the most intricate I've attempted, and I'm happy with the results. It's not perfect by any stretch, but I figure I've saved myself about $75 by building this myself. So just kind of give you a rundown of what you're going to see in this video. We took the stock seat pan, I refinished it, painted it. I used some blue camping mattress, the blue camp foam pads for the foam base of the seat cover. I used some other this backing material for sewing, and this sewing or the seat cover material. All said, in purchasing the foam, the backing, the seat cover material, the thread, some heavy duty needles, cost me about 40 bucks. So when I was looking at buying a seat cover and seat foam for this, it was going to run about $110 on the cheap end to get the foam and the seat cover shipped, and I still would have had to install it myself. So we're going to walk you through the process I use of making the foam, making the seat pad, and then measuring off of that to create the actual seat cover. Hope you enjoy this. If you find this useful, please subscribe. Like, comment. I, again, don't know what I'm doing. So if you have any suggestions for me, I do enjoy doing this. I would love to know what I can do better for the next seat cover I try. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the show. All right, so out here in the garage, we got a big mess from another project you'll see, but here's what I want to show you. Got camping pad. I've got, I don't even remember what the stuff is called, and some seat cover material. We're going to show you how to turn this into a new seat for a motorcycle. We're going to do a seat cover and seat foam for the Honda Z50 I'm working on. Got some heavy duty sewing needles and some upholstery thread as well. Gonna have to break the sewing machine up and see how this goes. Alright, so this is just a home camping pad. Walmart, I think it was like 12 or 14 bucks or something. But I've used this in the past many times to make seat covers out of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start layering. So I'm going to use this as kind of a trace pattern. And I'm not going to do anything around the outside edges yet, but I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 layers of this, and then we might do a layer of blue around it before we switch to our lighter padding. So I'm going to get some drawing supplies. I'm going to start tracing and cutting, and the hot glue gun, we'll get that warming up so we can glue the layers together, and then we're going to sand it to the shape we want. So we've got 4 layers cut out. Didn't take my time cutting them out. They won't match up great. That's just fine. I'm going to put some hot glue on these. Glue them together with hot glue. I'm going to set them on top of this. Find something heavy to put on top of that as I glue each layer so that it kind of takes the shape of the seat pan on the bottom. And once we get them all stuck together, then we start shaping. Okay, so glue is really just temporary. It's just to kind of hold things together while we start shaping this. You can see stuff's kind of shifted a little bit. That's okay. I'm just trying to get the basic start here, and I'm going to start sanding on it. Don't know if this is going to work or not. We're going to try this. Last time I did this, I used a belt sander, and it worked really well. So I'm hoping this works as good. It's going to make a huge mess. I'm going to put some gear on and start sanding and see how it looks. All right, so there's a start. You can see we kind of hold together, and it's rough, but we're just again making the base. Okay, we might do another layer of blue foam over this entire thing, but this stuff too is going to hide a lot of the imperfection of this. I think, looking at it, I want it a little higher in the back, so I'm going to cut a little piece and blend it in, maybe even two pieces, just to rise the back up just a little bit. So let's work on that. Next step, I'm going to try a layer of this lighter stuff over top of it, just to see how it starts to look. So I've done some trimming. I've got this thinner foam kind of glued down. Again, it's just to kind of help it hold its shape while I figure out how these are going to kind of fit. And I've got my sewing machine, I think, set up. I've done just some practice just to see how the stitching is going to work. Kind of like the little diamond pattern, this was just done freehand. Obviously it's horrible, but I think it's going to work out nice. So now the next step is I'm going to start kind of sketching out how I want my seat cover to the pieces. I think I'm going to try for top piece and probably, I guess I'm not sure, maybe two pieces, one for each from the middle of the front around, and then maybe a piece on the back. Kind of start figuring that out. So, I've got an old shirt. We're going to cut this up and use it as pattern making material. So I took some measurements. We're going to try kind of laying these pieces out, leave myself maybe a half an inch over on each piece so we have that little allowance for sewing, and we'll sew this one up and just kind of see how it fits, make adjustments as needed, and then do the real one. So, with these two pieces, I am pretty confident I can kind of make this work. I'm going to have this piece meet in the middle. Obviously, that will be sewn on the inside. And once again, I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm making this up as I go, but kind of based on things I've seen and tried in the past. And we're kind of hoping this is going to work out. So I'm happy with how this is fitting. So we'll have one panel here, same thing on the other side. We'll have a panel across the back, the top panel here, and then with these old Honda seats, they just have the spikes that you stretch and snag it on the spike. So I think I'm gonna lay this out on the actual seat cover fabric. We're gonna cut this piece out first. I'm gonna try and do that kind of zigzag pattern like I showed you over here. Do something like that in the middle here. Figure out how I'm going to do that. That's the question I need to answer next. I'm working up here where it's a little cleaner, but I've got the top panel, the two side panels cut out based on my measurements and drawings. And this is going to be my template for the zigzag pattern. It's going to go in that circle, roughly somewhere like that. So with those pieces cut out, I still need to figure out the back panel, but I'm going to do that at the end, kind of just fitting it to the seat. I'm going to try and do this, see how it goes. So I transferred my pattern just using some white charcoal. We're going to cut a chunk of this backing, and I'm going to try sewing that on and hope it doesn't get screwed up. Well, that actually turned out pretty good, I think. Not real coordinated with the hand-eye stuff, but I think we can make that work. And I was a little worried about the charcoal. I did test it and it seemed like it worked okay, but it just wiped right off with a shop towel. So now I'm going to take it back up and we're going to lay out the kind of diamond patterns across it, and then we'll come back and sew all those. All right, so we've got my lines laid out in the diamond pattern. I'm going to try sewing them. I'm kind of a little worried about the fabric puckering or wrinkling, but we're going to try it and see what happens. You gotta learn by doing. I think it turned out quite nice. With some practice, I think I could make this really nice. A little bit of puckering like I was worried about, but I think we set that on there and we get the side pieces sewed on and we get it stretched. I think it's gonna look pretty good. Next step, sew on the side pieces on. And figuring out the back panel. Trying to decide if I should do some little Z50 or something on the back panel. Well, making progress. Pretty happy with it except for this. I have to figure out what to do about that little pucker right at the front. I'm thinking I can unstitch in here, pick some of those stitches out and redo that little piece. But before I do that, I am gonna figure out this back panel, sew that in just to see. This might wind up as a prototype. I've got plenty of material left to try it again if this doesn't end up working, and that's fine. Part of the learning process. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it's turning out. So we've done some fixing. I had to go get a seam ripper and I pulled this whole seam out. And it fits a lot better. Doesn't have quite that pucker on the tip. And when I stretch it out, I think it looks real good. I think we're now ready. I've got this piece cut. We're gonna sew that in, test fit it, and stretch it over and see how it turns out. All right, moment of truth. Let's see how it fits. Bad at all. Inside out, not real great on my corners. I think it's time to try stretching it and maybe call it a day. The way these seats work, it's got these little spikes. You have to go bend, that one's bent out, but you loop it around and you hook it, poke a hole through the seat cover material. So you kind of stretch it while you're doing that on both sides. And it's supposed to keep it nice and tight. I want a whole bunch of extra fabric under here, but you want something to be able to grab onto. So maybe what I'll do is I'll stretch it and I can come in after and trim it off. Let's give her a try. Well, there you have it. I think it turned out pretty nice. Obviously not perfect, far from perfect. I don't have very good lines that match on corners like that. Did get one pretty good wrinkle right there. Not happy about that. Front turned out okay. Nice thing about the front side is that's going to be hidden by the gas tank. Let's just set it on the frame and see how it looks. It is on the frame. Might have made it just a little tall, but I think it'll work. Doesn't look super great yet, but I think when we get the gas tank and everything else put together, I think it'll start to come together nicely. Hope you enjoyed this video. If it helped, please comment. Tell me how you've used this information. Would love to see your ideas of projects, what you've made. This guy needs a new seat cover, but I don't think this is one I'm going to be doing myself. I've made a few others, just really simple. This is by far the most complex cover I've made. But please comment, like, subscribe, share if this was at all helpful to you. And if it wasn't helpful, hey, let me know. What should I do differently? Like I said, I am a beginner when it comes to making seat covers. I've got very basic tools, just a regular old sewing machine with some upholstery thread and a heavy-duty needle. But let me know what you think.